What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gold Pony. This is Gold Pony Crypto. And so there's been so much news around the Crypto.com ecosystem lately. I couldn't help myself. Gotta make a video on all this stuff. So in this video, we're going to be going over the Kris Marszalek AMA. I'm going to be giving you guys essentially the highlights, playing that for you, giving you my comments on that. Eric Anziani, the COO of Crypto.com, has been in the news lately as well. I wanted to show that to you guys if you haven't seen it already. Also, Crypto.com listened to me, as they have in the past, and they switched something on the app. It's not a huge deal, but I wanted to show that to you guys as well. And of course, before we get started, nothing in this video should be considered financial advice. This is simply for educational and entertainment purposes. I'm just a dude with a camera. That's all I am. But having said that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's kind of start with the partnership that Crypto.com has landed with Trump's Truth Social on issuing ETFs, which are going to now include Crow as one of the main tokens in these ETFs. And so I'm gonna let Kris take it from here and explain to you a little more what that is all about.
Really big news today about the Trump media partnership. Certainly there was a lot of noise on social. I don't know if everyone watching was able to catch it. Maybe you could give us a little bit of background on that and what it means for Crypto.com, CRO, and crypto more broadly.
Definitely, ETFs are a critical new flow of capital into the market. So we are very proud and thrilled to partner with Truth Social on this. As you guys know, they already have a Bitcoin ETF application. We're going to provide them with a 360 solution, including custody, liquidity provision, and everything else that is needed to operate this effectively. There's going to be also some innovation there in terms of deploying baskets that include proof of stake tokens like Kronos, and we're very excited about it. This is the first time that CRO is included in an ETF, so please look for more news on this as filings are done. And we're very, very, very excited about this partnership. It's absolutely incredible.
And so a lot came out during this AMA overall, but I think probably the most interesting line that I heard from Kris was the line about him saying how he likes to keep some of his cards close to his chest. And when he was saying that, he was kind of referring to, yes, there is the 2025 roadmap that we showed everyone, that we showed the Crow fam and the whole community, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that we haven't told you guys yet that is going to be a heck of a lot bigger than what we shared on the roadmap. Let's take a listen.
And it was not on the roadmap at all. So the stuff that we think is highly disruptive, we try to keep our cards close to our chest. So there's quite a number of things like that on the roadmap that we are working on. I actually think that the biggest surprises are going to come from the inorganic side of things. I don't think, historically, we were not particularly acquisitive other than the Nadex acquisition in 2021 and a few licenses, but we're going to be doing more interesting things on the M&A front, and the inorganic build out of the business, I think, is going to surprise the community a lot. So I strongly recommend you guys to keep an eye out.
And so now I wanted to touch on the Crow price a little bit because they did mention this in the AMA as well. And a lot of people have been asking me on X, what's my take on the Crow price and specifically the 70 billion token unburned. So I was here back in 2001. I was around for this when they went ahead and they announced the biggest burn in history, eliminating 70 billion tokens from the supply, putting it at 30 billion, and now they're kind of unburning that. And what everyone's been asking is, what's your opinion on this? And the only thing I can think of is the only possible way, I like to put myself in the other person's position. Really, that applies to anything you should be doing in life. But the only way, if I was Kris, that I would possibly do that is if I had a monster plan behind it that would absolutely make everybody forget the fact that that even happened. So it could be back to that keeping your cards close to your chest thing once again. And then in the back of my mind, I remember one of the previous AMAs, Kris said, again, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over. Fortune favors the brave. And I love that frame of thinking. Don't just settle for good. Be great. Be the best. You should always strive to be the best. And Kris had another line in this AMA that I absolutely loved. We have to stop thinking cents when we should be thinking dollars. Again, take a listen.
What's the rationale of the mint, the CRO? How's it going to benefit the community? There's a lot of questions in that topic.
Yes, I've noticed the vigorous debate online happening over the last couple of weeks, as you guys were so kind to tag me in most of it. Maybe I'll start with a public service announcement. Kronos and Crypto.com have been run separately for years, separate governance, separate entities. But where we are aligned is the mission and the vision, the cryptocurrency in every wallet. And where we are aligned is that we want to make CRO great again. So when I look at the original token burn from Q1 2021, I view this as a defensive move. At that point in time, it made a lot of sense. Now we've got strong support from the new administration. The war on crypto is over. We have extremely strong tailwinds for the whole industry. And there is need for an aggressive investment to win. I'm always very supportive of thinking big, being bold. We've run an entire global campaign with the tagline FFTB. So I believe that not making big moves is akin to accepting being somewhere in the middle of the pack. I don't think this is what the community wants. It's like thinking in cents when we should be thinking in dollars. So you guys have to understand that Crypto.com reinvested billions of dollars to build a globally recognizable, trusted brand. And likewise, Kronos will have to invest billions to build a top 5 chain. So I think that on balance, this path has the highest likelihood of success that benefits all token holders. So, what we actually want to do what are the things that will make CRO great again? I think number one on the list is ETFs. And, there was this announcement that came out this morning from Truth Social. And I think everybody needs to understand that this is the first of many. Our ambition is to have every single ETF issuer carry CRO, and in some cases it's going to be part of a single issue ETFs. In some cases it's going to be a part of the basket. But this is a very critical flaw. Again, the market structure has changed. This is what will provide inflows into the ecosystem, and all the builders that will want to benefit from it tremendously. I also want to address one issue that I think is not really deeply understood in the community, is that whenever we seed an ETF, this does not create a natural seller. It's akin to a loan where the ETF issuer is not the holder of the coin and is not a natural seller. So the impact on the sell side is none. So this needs to be understood. And I think, if you look at the action following the announcement, I don't think anybody saw any material selling in the market. So keep it in mind, ETFs are a huge net positive for the ecosystem. It's not easy to get it done, but we will get it done for all major issuers. The second thing that I think is critical to make CRO great again is to make sure that we are being in consideration for strategic reserves or digital assets stockpiles of sovereign states. And again, the level of difficulty here is even higher than in the case of ETFs, but I think we are exceptionally well positioned to make this a reality if opportunity arises. The third thing, which I think is extremely difficult to do, but it's also one of the most important things, is to bring strong founder teams to Kronos. We've been looking for many months and quarters and years for exciting projects to list on the Crypto.com platform coming from the Crypto.com community. And the assessment is that there's not enough meat there. So The teams at Kronos, and I've seen that there's a new lead that has been appointed today. Mirko is a great guy. I'm sure you guys are going to love him. His number one job is to make sure that we bring extremely strong founder teams to the community. Founder teams that will build breakthrough projects that on its own right will stand at multi-billion-dollar valuation, are able to raise funding from leading VCs and drive this ecosystem forward. And Sierra will definitely benefit from this as the base pair. We've seen how ETH benefited from this in 2017. So this is an established playbook. We've seen how Solana benefited from it during this cycle. Right? It's very important that the teams that are building on Kronos are absolutely world-class. And it will require significant incentives and significant investment. And I think the Kronos team is 100% committed to it. The fourth path and the fourth thing on the to-do list is bringing on institutional investors to Kronos.
And so another thing I wanted to touch on is Crypto.com and Kris Marszalek and Eric Anziani, they do listen to us, believe it or not. They listen to their community. And proof of that, I wanted to show this to you guys. Not to say that maybe I was the person that did it. It could have been somebody else, but I put something out. I noticed that their app had said Crypto.com buy, I think it said buy BTC, XRP, and ADA. And I thought it was odd that Crypto.com would not put their own token on the promo there for their app. So I said something on X and it got quite a bit of attention, and I just recommended that they take XRP out and they replace it with Crow, and I said something funny. I didn't say it in an aggressive way or anything like that. I know there's a lot of aggressive speak on X, which quite honestly doesn't accomplish anything. If you want to get something done, you have to say it in a polite or funny way. I tried to be funny about it when I said, why don't you replace XRP with Crow but leave ADA, because I like ADA, I'm invested in them. And they did it. So they replaced XRP with Crow, and it just makes sense. And I know that they listen to us, and I've actually DM'd Kris a few times and he's responded back to me. It's crazy thinking that a CEO of $1 billion company takes the time to respond back to their community, because I am no one. I'm just a guy just like you watching this video, and that's pretty cool. Although I am partnered with them, I will say that. So if you're interested in the Crypto.com Metal Visa card, go ahead and use my referral code GoldPony, all one word, all lowercase. Anyways, my point is they do listen to us. And the other thing that I took that I think I liked the most, this is gonna sound stupid, it's nothing to do with money, but I saw pictures of Kris smiling. And I know that's isn't maybe not a big thing, but every AMA that I see him in, he's just straight faced. And I know some people are like that, and that's fine. And maybe he's happy when he's talking like that, but in the pictures I saw him smiling in the White House, and that was awesome to see. Like, I know maybe some of the leadership within Crypto.com thinks we're just an angry mob community that just wants them to change things all the time and do what we want and things like that, but yeah, not all of us. I love seeing Kris smile. I know that sounds dumb, but you know. One of the very last parts of his AMA, he said something like, I just want to focus on what is important in life and simplify his life as well. And it just hit me, because that's exactly 100% right. That's why I've been making less videos lately, in case anybody didn't notice. I used to make videos all the time last bull run, and even just, you know, a couple years ago, I was making a lot of videos too, and I've kind of taken that same approach. I'm trying to simplify my life, because for those of you guys who don't know, I kind of died a few times last year. I flatlined, to be specific. I had an aortic aneurysm, and who would have thought? I'm in my 30s. Keep that in mind. Life's short, focus on what's important. To me, it's the first thing on my X profile, God first. That is more real now than it ever has been, and I could go on and on about that, but this is a crypto video, so I'll just try to keep it a crypto. But anyways, let me go ahead and end with Eric Anziani in the news, a little clip from him, because that literally just came out. So all in all, I am still extremely bullish on Crypto.com, Crow, and Kronos. Still have not sold any of my Crow. If you have, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to sell shame anybody. That's not for me to judge. Everyone's got their own reasons. And at some point, I would think everyone's going to sell their crypto because, you know, life. But anyways, let me let you guys listen to Eric Anziani here to close this one out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay gold.
Eric Anziani from Crypto.com discusses its significance. I think we need to step back a bit and realize how much of a watershed moment for financial history the decision that the US has made to create a strategic reserve out of a digital asset, Bitcoin, and also create a stockpile on top of that for other assets. This is the first time a nation state of that scale has made the move to consider a digital asset not only a pure speculative asset, but a strategic financial asset for the longevity and the long-term survival of the country, like they've done for traditional assets like gold. So this is very material. It's not reflected yet in the prices because I think macro short-term is there, but it's fundamental.